Hi everybody, this is Janet Wright, and this video is two things. It is a great walkthrough video that you can use whenever you want, and it also is an energy recap video for today's group healing that I did for 70 people. Today's date is April 3rd, 2018, and I'm going to walk you through clearing avoidance, which is so beneficial. It would help everybody for sure. We're going to use a technique called timeline healing, which is super simple. It even sounds slightly more complex than it is actually. But I will explain in a second. Okay, so first I want to help you understand how fantastic it is to clear avoidance. So, oh, and that's Smokey behind me, by the way. He's one of our cats. But anyway, clearing avoidance helps you. The most obvious way probably is like with productivity. You know, sometimes you're avoiding what you really need to do, you know, like the ideal next step idea, where it's ideally your next step to do a certain project, but you're avoiding it and that is stressing you out. And so then you do all these other things instead, and then the big thing gets delayed. But really, actually on a deeper level than that, clearing avoidance is very key. I mentioned in the intro video, like therapeutically. If you clear avoidance, it means that you're open to your inner truth, much more of your inner truth. You're open to people's observations about you. You know, say your partner, you know, might make an observation about you. That's totally true. But if you have a lot of avoidance, you might get defensive and really not see what they're saying, even though they really do have an accurate and valid and useful point. But if you're too avoidant, you just can't hear it. So anyway, avoidance, if you clear it, the more you clear, you can't clear it too much, you know, I mean, I don't think it's possible. But, you know, always use your intuition. And as you do this, you know, video, as with all videos like this that I have or other people maybe have that you use, you want to clear the amount that is healthy and gentle for you to clear at this time. And, you know, it's nice to be able to return to videos and do them again, you know, and again. So maybe if you feel like avoidance would really help you, maybe do it, you know, 3 times in a week, this video, or 3 days in a row, or, you know, twice a week, if that's too much to do it 3 times for you, too much discipline. But anyway, because if you know, sleep on it and then you could do more, it's much more productive than trying to, you know, kind of one day and then that's it. Okay. That's why these triplet healings work so well. Part of why, because it's 3 different healings and spaced out over 5 days. And, you know, everybody's spirit gets to kind of heal and recharge and regroup and grow a little, and then they're ready for much more. So anyway, let's just get to work. So timeline healing, real simply, is basically you make piles of energy blocks and then you clear them. And I could have called it piles technique, I guess. But the timeline aspect is, you know, something you could really get into or just kind of mostly ignore even. That you imagine a line out in front of you, that's a timeline. It represents the passage of time. And so let's say if we're clearing energy blocks for this lifetime, you know, we're just going to maybe do one pile first. And the pile, let's do it. So imagine just a timeline for this lifetime. So there's conception, and then just imagine it up to present time, right? And then just imagine a pile somewhere on that timeline that's healthy and gentle for you to clear. And that pile is made up of energy blocks from a certain time period that are causing you to be in avoidance, or to have avoidance, to vibrate at avoidance. And just notice where, and again, this part's optional. The imagining a pile is not optional, but noticing where it is on your timeline is optional. I think it's really fun, but you know, if it's too much for you, it's too much. You just notice where on the timeline, because I don't even always do this part either. Where on the timeline is your pile, you know, and just use your intuition. Like, is that before you were a teenager? Is it after you were a teenager? Is it, you know, in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, your 60s, however old you are right now? So just kind of place that pile somewhere on the timeline, like notice where it is. So for me, my pile, just to give a personal example, and basically, if you're a newbie and you're unsure of this type of thing, just make it up, because making it up is going to force you to use your intuition, even though you think you're making it up. It's really intuition. So just make it up. But my pile is at 11 years of age. So what's that, like 5th grade? 6th grade? Something like that, I think. Right? Yeah. 5th or 6th grade. And so anyway, step 1 is you notice the pile that's healthy and gentle for you to clear, right? And then step 2 is you bring up red earth energy from the center of the earth. I'm going to move my pile in front of me. So you bring the red earth energy up, and just soak your pile of energy blocks from whatever time period it was in this life. And just soak it in the red earth energy, and that just calms things down. It helps you to start separating from the pile of energy blocks, which is good. And then step 3 is to start melting the energy cords that may be going to this pile. So maybe from, you know, in my case, 11, you know, there could be energy blocks from people who knew me back then. So genetic siblings, genetic parents, you know, or I could be cording some of the energy blocks in that pile. So you don't really have to know any of that. Just use gold light and just wash the outside of your pile. And your intention is you're melting away any energy cords that are going into your pile. And usually I don't even bother visually checking. It's just, I just do it on an intention level, even though I could visually check, just because it's not worth my time. The gold light melts the cords anyway, so who cares? Okay, so then you melted the cords. Good job. And then now you can melt the pile of energy blocks that are causing you to be more avoidant. And so one way you could do that is just lots of gold light, lots of gold light, or gold fire, gold water, gold glitter, something like that. Another way that we've been working more in this triplet set is moving out of resistance, because your resistance is the glue that's making these energy blocks hard and stuck. Right? And so it's you're the glue that's keeping these energy blocks here. So you just kind of imagine, you know, I don't want to be the glue. I'm done being the glue. It's okay. I'm going to comfort myself. I'm going to be the flow. I'm not going to be the glue anymore. I'm going to let it go. I'm going to be the flow, not the glue. Right? And then that can melt the pile really fast too. And I feel like sometimes that is a little more advantageous, you know, because that can have an even bigger ripple effect, because you're moving out of resistance. So then other energy blocks in other places could clear at the very same time. Okay, great. So now that pile's gone. Good job. Woohoo! You just cleared some resistance energy blocks. Avoidance energy blocks. Okay, great. So now in the healing, we cleared from past lives and all sorts of time periods in this life. So in this life, before now, in this life now, in this life in the future, and also past lives. So let's just, for variety, let's just do past life energy blocks. So you can make a timeline, and again, now is, you know, one end of the timeline, and then the timeline represents all sorts of past lives you've had, right? And, you know, I'm not going to read this in very detailed way. Some people like to read, like, what year was that past life, but, you know, TMI. I'm not going to bother. But anyway, how about we do 2? 2, if you feel like that's not too much, or you could even do 3 if you're really gung-ho about it, as long as it's healthy and gentle. But, you know, 1 to 3, imagine 1 to 3 piles of energy blocks on this past life timeline that are energy blocks making you avoidant. Okay? And step 1 is real easy. You just bring up the red earth energy and soak all 3 piles, or 2 or 1 pile, whatever you're doing. These are past life piles of energy blocks, and basically each pile is from a different time. So probably a whole different past life, a certain time in a different past life. Okay, so all 3 piles are now soaking in the red earth energy, which is nice. It grounds all 3 piles because that red earth energy is coming from the center of the earth. So now all 3 piles are grounded, and it just helps you to separate, which is good. Okay, so then you just use cold light and melt away any cords that may be going into these 3 piles. And again, you don't have to see it, but just think, you know, the gold light is washing the outside of all 3 piles, and with your intention, you're just letting the cords melt away. Okay, great. And now the step where you could do it one of 2 ways, but it's to clear the piles. And I think it's probably more gentle to clear 1 pile at a time. So just use your intuition or whatever you prefer, which pile you want to do first. But you just want to pull out of resistance. You know, be the flow, don't be the glue, right? Because a little part of you is stuck in resistance, which is why these energy blocks are still stuck. So if you kind of communicate with that resistant part of you and you're like, okay, it's all right, everything worked out, it's all right, I'm gonna let go, and then that'll melt the pile really fast. Otherwise you could just use cold light and it'll melt as well, or you could blow up the pile, which is kind of fun. And you know, with your intention, you want it to completely dissolve and blow up and clear. Okay, if you do have any little remnants, I don't generally when I do that, but you could have your angels clean up the little leftovers if you have any. All right, so then we have 2 more piles. I think maybe I could do 2 at once here, so that's what I'm going to do. So again, we already cleared the cords out of the piles, so now you can either use lots of gold light to melt these 2 piles of avoidance. Keep calling it resistance. Of avoidance. You know, so these are energy blocks from past lives that are making you avoidant now. And just think about the glue, think about you being the glue, and you don't want to do that anymore. You want to just be flowing and let go. And yeah, so both my piles just cleared real fast because again, that's very powerful to own that part of you is hanging on to this stuff, and then just identify that, you know, communicate with that resistant part of you, and then move that part of you back into a calmer, more comforted, more flowing state. The alternative is just use lots and lots of gold light until it melts, or blow it up. And again, if you have any remnants, which I don't, but you can just ask your angels, please clean that up for me. All right, so then let's do a general one. Let's do a group. In the healing, we did 2 to 4. Like the last round that we did was 2 to 4 piles. Because again, there is really different ranges of how motivated people are and how experienced people are. So you want to do what is healthy and gentle for you to do at this time. Okay. So however many piles of energy blocks, and this could be past lives and it could be present life, even the future of this lifetime. Okay. Any blocked energy that is sitting in a pile that's healthy and gentle for you to clear right now, and just get an intuitive sense, how many piles are we talking? And again, these are energy blocks that are keeping you in an avoidant state, making you avoid the truth, making you avoid processing energy and doing what you need to do in your life and moving forward. So for me, I have 6 piles that I can clear right now that are healthy and gentle for me to clear. But again, I am not a newbie. So you may have just 1 pile and that is awesome. Or you may have 2 piles and that's cool too. So just, you know, imagine how many piles you have. You don't have to see, because if you are a newbie, you probably just see all black, you know, so just think it, you know, make it up, because that's using intuition. When you don't trust your intuition, you think you're making it up, but it is intuition anyway. So anyway, step 1 is just bring up the red earth energy from the core of the earth, just with your intention, up, 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 bring the red earth energy up into the piles so that they're soaking in the red earth energy. Lots and lots of red earth energy. And just soak these piles. And then the next step is wash them out with gold light in order to melt away energy cords that may be going into these piles. So, and anyway, gold light around the outside of all the piles, so you're melting away energy cords from other people into the piles or from you into the piles. Because you really want to be able to let go of these piles so that they can clear. Okay, and then the next step is, you can go 2 routes. One route is just use lots of gold light and they'll clear, or blow them up and they'll clear. But again, we were working in this triplet set a lot of moving out of that state of abundance, moving out of a state of resistance. And I think you get a bigger ripple effect if you do it that way. So just think of how you are the glue holding these piles in place all this time, and you don't need to be that glue anymore. You just have to kind of find that part of you that's the glue and just comfort that part of you, ease that part of you back into a more balanced, flowing, relaxed state. You know, sometimes I like to say, it's okay, you know, everything's all right. You know, like you're talking to that glue part of you that's freaked out. And deep breaths. Yeah. So for me, all the piles cleared by doing that, you know. You know, but if you need more time, that's fine. You know, you can blow them up. Like I said, you can use gold fire, gold water. You can do one at a time even. Okay, so that's pretty good. Let's just finish up by doing a quick tricolor earth energy soak, because we did do that right after this exercise in the healing. Let's also redo gold energy aura buffer zones, because we did that right after this exercise in the healing too. So gold energy aura buffer zones, if you don't know what they are, I recommend the video Gold Energy Aura Buffer Zones, because it teaches you how to repair your aura, and it also teaches you a great self-defense technique of gold buffers that you put on the outside of your aura once it's all whole and healed. Okay, but if you know what that is, just redo your gold energy aura buffer zones. And then let's do a quick tricolor soak, like I said. So be aware of how wide your aura is. Redo your grounding to be as wide as your whole aura. And that's important. You know, some people, I always have to double check in the healing. Is everyone making theirs as wide as possible? Particularly if you're stressed, your tendency is to have a really narrow grounding. So just double check. Is it wide? Is it wide? And make it red or orange. Well, make it red, because we'll do all 3 colors. So we'll do it fast. So if you want a slower version, there's that 6-minute video, Tricolor Earth Energy Soak. Okay. So big red grounding, wide all the way down to the core of the earth, and red. And then that's red grounding. It goes as high as your 3rd chakra, below your sternum bone. That's red grounding. So deep breath. Just remind yourself that you can let go. All right, and then use that red grounding like a straw and just draw up red earth energy from the core of the earth. So it's just earth energy from the core of the earth at a red vibration, and you just draw it up and soak in it. So you soak your whole aura, your body, all your energy centers, your organs, even your aura above your body, up, and you're soaking in the red earth energy, right? And then let's bring that down. That was quick, right? And then let's change it to orange. So bright orange, any shade of orange you want, grounding, nice and wide, all the way down to the core of the earth, orange. And that's orange grounding, which is awesome. And then just nice deep breath. Remind yourself it's okay to let go. And that's orange grounding. And then let's use it like a straw and bring up orange earth energy from the core of the earth, up, and just soak in that orange earth energy, your aura, your organs, your body, your chakras, everything. Even above your aura, in orange earth energy, you're soaking. And just leave that up for a little. And then bring it back down to the height of your 3rd chakra. And then let's switch it, recreate it at yellow. So any shade of yellow that you like, recreate your whole grounding at yellow. All wide, all the way down to the core of the earth. That's yellow grounding. Okay, so deep breath. Remind yourself it's okay to let go. And your grounding helps you to release whatever you need to from your aura, your chakras, everywhere, all the way down to the core of the earth. So you're really getting rid of it. Okay, and then that's yellow grounding, and then use that like a straw to bring up yellow earth energy from the core of the earth, up, and just soak your whole body, your aura, your organs, your chakras, everything in the yellow earth energy. And just, you can even leave that up, which I'm gonna do. But if you want, you can bring it back down to the height of your third chakra, which is right below your sternum. So I'm gonna leave mine up though. All right, so good job. What you did is you cleared avoidance using the sacking and clearing energy blocks technique. Woohoo! Good job. And like I said, you can keep redoing this, and you can, the better you get at it, when I say do 2 piles, you could do 4, you could do 8 piles, just whatever is healthy and gentle for you to do at this time. And again, afterwards, we did the tricolor soak because you want to be able to release well, because that is what allows you to clear a lot of energy and still feel fantastic that day, the next day, the next day. Okay, so if you start feeling not fantastic, maybe if you really don't feel good, then you need to repair your aura. It's not because of work you did, maybe, but someone bashed your aura. So do aura repair. And then if you just feel like a little cranky or a little tired, your grounding's probably blocked up. So redo a tricolor earth energy soak like we just did. And that'll get that flow going again with your grounding. And then, your fatigue will probably clear, or your crankiness can clear. Okay? All right. Bye.